So, without further ado, let me do a formal introduction of our guest today. Boy, guys, you guys are going to be in for a treat. You're going to want to start signing in, start asking questions. If we have time to get to your questions on Facebook and Spreaker, shoot them out there. But we do have a couple of guests coming in because we have a world-renowned psychic, Jayne Wallace. She's an internationally acclaimed clairvoyant and owner and driving force behind the world famous company Psychic Sisters. I was telling you earlier, it's a clouder of sisters you have over there, right?
It's a lot of sisters. Yes.
Jayne has been a natural clairvoyant since the age of 7 and has studied across the world, honing her craft to become a world-renowned and respected psychic. Psychic Sisters have been based within, God, I'm going to screw up this town in London, within Selfridges. How do you pronounce
Yep,
that?
it's a department store.
Oh,
So we're based within a department store in central London. So it's similar to say Barney's or Saks. It's like one of the largest department stores in the world.
wow. Well, you've been there for over 10 years, and it's the first and only one of the kind in the world and remains so even today. She decided to recruit a number of skilled readers to join her in her company. Jayne has worked with Kim Kardashian,
Wow.
right? I say West, but everybody knows her as Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian is filmed for the TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians at her host. God, what a messed up family! I want to hear all about that family. That's just crazy. With their host and home in Los Angeles. Jayne has also worked with some amazing people, including Kylie Jenner.
Oh, wow.
Isn't Kylie Jenner Bruce Jenner?
No, that's the daughter.
Oh, daughter, okay. Janice Dickerson, wow. Diana Madison from USA TV. She was also interviewed by the esteemed chat show host Larry King and described her as an honor to work with such a legend. Wow. I'll tell you what, I watch Larry King all the time today. Having featured regularly in both national and international press like The Sun, Mirror, or OK Magazine, and the New York Times and Russian Maria Claire, to name just a few. That's a cool name, Russian Maria Claire. Wow, I love those names too. Jayne has also writes monthly columns for Spirit and Destiny, and Soul and Spirit and Fate, Fortune magazines. Jayne is also an established author. I wish you guys didn't know that. She has author My Psychic Stories, 44 Ways to Talk to Your Angels. And she's an angel herself. You want to, also she has My Psychic Casebook and Oceanic Tarot. She's also available on Amazon or via online shop. You can reach her at psychicsisters.co.uk or psychicsisters.com. So without further ado, Jayne, welcome to the Good Intentions Show. All right. How are you?
Thank you.
Listen to that.
How are you today? You good?
Well, much better now. I'm hearing your voice.
Oh, that's
Boy,
good.
you guys just melt. You guys melt Americans' hearts, don't you realize that? Just by opening your mouth.
Yeah, you do like our accent. Everybody says that. It's like over, yeah. So Americans definitely like our accent.
Yeah, I know.
We do have a lot of American clients though, so we do see a lot of people from the US.
Yeah, there's like all of a sudden an automatic authoritative deference given to them because of their British accent.
Do the angels like your accent?
Pardon?
Do the angels like your accent?
I think they do. Yeah, they sure do.
Well, that's a good question, Jesse. Do the angels have British accents? You know?
I'd pay attention to angels without a British accent.
Yeah, they do.
So Jayne, wow. I mean, you're dealing with all these celebrities, Kim Kardashian. So to me, it's like, I don't know if that's a great thing or a bad thing. I mean, it's just like you talk about the probabilities changing all the time. It's like the number one question: am I going to get this part? I mean, what are the common questions you get from dealing with celebrities, or how unique is that experience, if it is experience, versus other people's readings?
To be honest, whether you're an A-lister or whether you're just a normal day-to-day person, truthfully, everybody's the same. I think, I don't truthfully get very awestruck. So there's nobody I look at and think, oh my God, she's like having a reading off me. So they're just like day-to-day people. I treat everybody the same, speak to everybody in exactly the same way. So, I mean, within my company, most people, it's reputational word of mouth. So a lot of people work on trust. So I think once sort of, you go into a certain circle of trust, then they'll ask you, because it's like not kissing and selling and stuff like that. But yeah, we mix with a lot of high profile people, but also just normal day-to-day people like you and me.
So any kind of publicly known reading you did with a celebrity you could share, some kind of juicy stuff? I
don't know, to be fair.
That you won't get in trouble?
Celebrities are just the same. It's just, you read for like so many people. So to me, it's just, I only mention them because they do quotes about me, and then they'll mention me on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. But on an honest level, day-to-day life, we always meet somebody that's, you know, from somewhere, truthfully.
Well, you know,
So
it's an honor, honestly, because when you have celebrities, well-known celebrities, saying your name as a psychic medium, there's not only a certain level of credibility, but that should be. And I know it's an honor, as you know, it's an honor to be able to do that, because it said your skill set's so well established that you have these people who could go to really anybody they want to, but they seek out people psychics like you know. So.
but that's just a bonus. Do you know what I mean? For us, it's just, you know, obviously within press and media, we do a lot of press and we do a lot of different stuff. So to me, it's just, you know, if you read for someone like Kim, then, you know, they're not just clients. Like, you know, I've got a lot of friends that are, you know, just really lovely people. So you mix with those people as you do. Like if I go out for a drink with my friends, it's the same. You'll go out for them as a friend. So it's just because obviously they're more packed and they're more, you know, dominant. I mean, like today, for example, we're doing an event within Selfridges, and that's got everybody going. So it's 120 major people, and it's like, it's just what it is really. It's just we're going to do a job, and for me it's about credibility, and it's about bringing this to like normality, because like I've got like 22 girls that we don't work every day, but we've got a really lovely booth within Selfridges, like really lovely rooms. We do healing, all forms of holistic work, and it's just, to me, it's making this work normal. So like if they think, oh yeah, Kim came for a reading, or Katie Holmes, whoever, it's that feeling of, okay, it's awareness of day-to-day people, day-to-day life.
Well, listen, it's very humbling, and I really appreciate your perspective on it. I think it's just gives you even more credibility to how you approach that. So 7 years of age, I mean, you basically discovered you had this skill set at 7. Can you like tell us that moment in time? Because was it prior to that, was like, I see dead people? And, you know,
yeah, I don't know, it's weird because I used to always have like really intense dreams, and it's that feeling of, used to wake up sort of in the night, and I used to feel a woman constantly around me, like obviously not a physical woman, a spiritual woman. And I just remember it used to scare me a lot. And then I spoke to my mum, who was very much into the spiritualist church and the spiritualist movement, and she just explained, she said, look, it's a guardian angel. She said, truthfully, living hurt you more than dead. So it was an energy. She said I was really special and really lucky to have such an amazing energy around me. And she explained about like Archangel Michael, and she explained to me about guardian angels and spirit guides and people that passed away. And then I went to a spiritualist church with her. So she took me and she said, look, come and sort of experience it. And in the UK, spiritualist churches are quite big. There's quite a lot of them. So I just kind of sat in the audience, and there was a medium on the platform, and he was talking about a lady whose son had passed away quite tragically. And I felt the boy, and I almost see him behind, and I kept seeing like the auras and the energies. And then afterwards, I was just speaking to the gentleman that was there, and he was explaining to me about like when people pass over and their souls and stuff. So I was just really intrigued and really interested. So every week my mum used to go, oh, can I come with you? So I always remember as a small girl sitting in the spiritualist church and kind of, you know, sensing and seeing spiritual presence. So it's something that I've always done.
Well, yeah, and sounds like you picked up on, and one thing that a lot of the psychics that we do a lot of interviews with people who are psychic mediums or just psychics, and we even have a show called Psychic Soup that we do every Monday.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is that a lot of them we hear is that a lot of times they don't have a mentor, especially not their parents, who understand that. Sometimes they have nobody, and they could go all into their late teens, early 20s, and they're trying to run away from this gift, you know. So it sounds like you had a supportive mother, which you at least understood kind of what you're going through, and that's fantastic. Because now probably why you're so good, because you had all those extra years to put into action, right?
Probably. Yeah. Not that good. I always say you're only as good as the person sat in front of you. I say that to everybody.
Well, you know,
it's just you're just as good as the person you speak to, aren't you? Really.
Well, you know,
truthfully.
And tell me if this is true, because one of our psychics, Beth Peters, here, she's not here today, but she says, Tim, I don't care what psychic tells you, but they're always nervous before they do a reading. Would you validate that to be true at all, or to some degree?
Energy-wise, I would probably disagree on a
Okay.
truthful. I don't really get nervous with it because I'm channeling it. I always get solar plexus, so I always get that feeling of
Right.
like energy in my solar plexus. But to be fair, no, not really. I don't feel that I do get nervous on a truthful level
Because
because
you,
I do
you
quite a few readings, to be fair. So it's kind of, it's like with you when you go to the radio and you start to speak and stuff. It's just what you do, isn't it?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think I channel a lot. So to me, it's kind of just my day-to-day life, to be honest with you.
It's second nature to you now.
Yeah, truthfully, yeah.
And that's because I would, if I was a beginning psychic, I'd be like, okay, this connection can come in again. Come on, guys, show up. I'm on the spot now. But you do it so much that it's
Yeah.
it's a knowing. And to me, intentions, it's all about knowing. And if you know something's going to happen, then it
Yeah.
happens, right?
And truthfully, you can't read for everybody. So I might have somebody that comes through a reading
Yeah.
and I get absolutely zero. So I'll say, look, I'm really sorry. So you can't read for every single person.
Right. So speaking of that, how do you like? What's your when do you have to tap out? Like, can you like back to back readings? You have to have a process of going through it. I mean, because you do so many of them. Do you feel at a certain point you start losing your energy or your connection?
I work sort of 3 days a week reading. So I work within obviously the department store 3 days a week. And then the days off are just kind of, like today, so obviously I went to Pilates or I would go out with my friends and stuff. So work, I think I usually get in, I call it a work zone. So I say to the girls, right, you need to get in that zone. And then I go to work and then I'll have my lunch and we'll have sort of, like I'll go for lunch with people. So all the girls all sit together and we just all have lunch together, to be honest. So that I think re-energizes us. But where we are, it's quite buzzy. So we're all very different characters and very different people, but we have quite a lot of like really like lovely clients. So it's like we sell a lot of crystals and new age products as well. So people come and look at the shop and stuff. So I think we always try and keep a buzz. So then we work more off energy. I think I personally work more off energy than anything else.
So a lot of the new psychics, a lot of the sister psychics coming in, I assume since you're like the head psychic and you're running it's your business, do you have to do sometimes some trainings on how to, because I'm sure in every psychic I speak to, you have to learn how to turn it off and on. You can't always be on all
Of
the
course,
time,
always, yeah.
And so,
Because if you're constantly in a mode where you're connecting spiritually, it's like if you've got a friend that's obsessed with you, they become exhausting. So I generally learn to disconnect. So I'll always like close myself down, open myself up. But I think, on and honest, I do it naturally. So say if I get in the car to go in and I've got a busy day, I naturally sort of open myself up in the car. And then when I come home, generally I'll close myself down. So I kind of try to keep myself open most of the day. So then I like to flow. So I don't really I do stop, but I prefer to do like back to back rather than just like one and then have an hour's break.
wow, hey, that's talk about working in a department store, huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
That's production.
That is customer service at its finest.
It's customer service. It's weird. It is good though. It is lovely. We've got like a really amazing little shop. We're next to Nespresso Coffee. So we're
Really?
in the cookware department of all places. So we're sort of sitting there amongst the pots and pans, and it's like you come in and it's just so lovely. People are like, oh, okay, I went for an espresso and got my capsules and popped past us. So it is quite funny, really.
So when usually people call in for this more so than show up, or do you have a lot of walk-ins?
Oh, both. I mean, at the moment, truthfully, it's in London, it's Arab season. So at the moment, everyone's in burqas, and
Yeah.
so it's like, so we have different seasons, different times of the year. So yesterday, like every client I see yesterday was Australian. So, and there's a lot of Arab. So it's at the moment, very Arab for another 2 weeks. So it's our Arab season. It's Christmas as well. So
right. It's like she has 22 psychics or plus. It's like the Bunny Ranch of psychics. You show up, you call. It's just amazing how you guys. I joke, but it's amazing how do people come pick which psychic they want. They look at a profile. I assume
So it depends. Like obviously, some of us have. I'm not being big-headed, but you have a wait list, and so some people have to book like a month or two in advance.
Yeah.
And then we have every day we have 4 readers. So because we've got 4 rooms, we have 4 different readers every day. So it just depends. So some people try and walk in, or I don't know, they'll come in at 10, and they can't come back till 7 at night. But we open from 9 till 10 o'clock at the moment.
So, is there? So, how do you? I'm just curious because I love your concept. I love the psychic sister concept. It's just fascinating because why not? There's more power and energy. Do you all believe because you're working together that it enhances each other's skills energetically, or do you think that's not has nothing to do?
I think because we're all different, truthfully, so we all do different things, if that makes sense. I think because we're all very individual personalities, different ages, different cultures. I mean, I've got a Muslim girl, black girl, we've got like a Christian. So we're all very different in our views and the way we are as people. And I think that's why it makes a really good team, because we've all got very different personalities.
Right.
So I think if someone's low, then we'll buzz off the energy and we'll all try and pick them up and kind of almost sort of we're friends as well as just work colleagues. So we've all got each other's back.
No, that's great. Talk about unique job opportunities, huh? Soon you'll be seeing, you probably put ads in there looking for local psychic,
Yeah, right.
It's a great, it's the new age. It's people are finding their purpose and talent within themselves, a skill set that goes beyond the five senses, the multi-sensory beings that we really are, and they're developing it. And, and when we get back from our first break, we'll start jumping into some readings, but I want to talk a little bit about demystifying some of this, the psychic phenomenon and mediumship and how people are scared of it and why they're scared of it and what do you have to say why they shouldn't be, okay?
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Jayne Wallace of Psychic Sisters. We're back with Jayne Wallace of Psychic Sisters, who has double digits of psychics speaking to people, celebrities all around the world. I mean, it's just a fantastic, and you've been doing it for 10 years, right?
Actually, nearly 11 and a half years we've been in Selfridges for.
Oh, wow.
So it's a long time, but I've been professional, so I'm 50 in 2 weeks. So I've been professional probably since about the age of 17.
Okay, well,
So I've been doing it a long time.
All right. So you're saying as a 17, but actually you discovered your skills at 7. So it took you that 10 years to fine tune, because my understanding with psychics is you have to you're hearing and you have different types. Some are very clairvoyant, some they just know whatever it may be. Do you develop all the different types for yourself? Because not everybody's are mediums as well, right?
I think, truthfully, I try to tap in on all levels, but obviously we've all got very different skills.
Yeah.
So for me, I love the mediumship clairvoyance, but I also specialise with tarot cards and stuff like that. So I try to work across the board. Okay.
Do you ever do experiments? Like I love, like on the psychic suit, I try to set our psychic up for experiments all the time. Like, I'm going to be blindfolding her next time, and just having fun with it. And but to me, it seems that the people have this very fearful belief of psychics. Some people do, especially a lot of the religious people, very dogmatic religious people. They see people like you as witches and should be burned on a stake, right? And
probably.
Listen,
that's true. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we do have a lot of that, to be fair. But I think, on an honest, what I try and do is, because I think where I am and I've got such amazing backing, like obviously we're very like mainstream. So I always say to everybody, people look at people like what we do and they'll think, oh, she's got a crystal ball and she's at the end of Brighton Pier and got a hooded scarf on. And we're not like that at all. So I think because of where I am, and we see a lot of like at the moment, obviously Muslim people, we see people from every culture, every religion, and I think because we're there and we've got a lot of credibility, I think they come. So I think what I'm meant to do is, and this is my theory, how I thought about it, just to bring it to day-to-day people, say actually if they're in that department store, if they're being backed by them, then I think people see, oh, it's something, not like shopping, but they can pop past and go, oh, it must be credible because they're within a shop that backs them. So I think, to be honest, I agree that people see us very differently, but I think UK, we're quite open to it. So I think a lot more people where religion isn't as strong as what it used to be. So not everybody has faith, say, within whatever, whether it's Christianity or whatever. So a lot of people come to us because they're not believing, say, in the natural God or the church. So people are now looking at a more spiritual pathway. That's how I see it. Well, so on every culture.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, Jesse, make this a little louder, please, Mike. But what I see is that specifically the people who are dogmatic like that, they are fearful But yet, don't they also, or do you believe they also have the ability to be psychic themselves if they chose to go down that road?
I think truthfully, everyone can see, sense, or feel. So everybody has that gut feeling, that intuition. Agreed. So I think when people tap into that, they will learn to evolve and develop. But I always say you get a priest, he's there praying to God, speaking to an unknown being. So whether it be a god or whatever man called it. So I think, he's still channeling. So whatever energy you're linking with, I think it's still a channel of energy to a higher being. So I personally, that's how I see it. I think whether I speak to, say, my mum that's passed away, or whether I speak to Jesus or an angel, I think it all comes from a universal life force. And people sometimes, and I'm going to be rude, but sometimes people can be very hypocritical. So we'll have a Christian woman that comes in, and at the end of the reading she'll go out and she'll go, oh, I'll pray for you now. But then she's walked into my door, she spoke to me about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we don't have too much of that where people attack us, or I think when we first went into Selfridges, it made my profile a lot higher. And we had mainly born-again Christians that were very not nice people. The way, if it's all about love and peace and spirituality, say, I don't know why people can be like that. Because in our movement, the spiritual side, we would never attack somebody from a different culture, from a different religion.
Yeah, it seems definitely hypocritical on that level. At the same time, they believe what they believe because that's what they've been brought up to believe.
I agree with that. No, I'm not saying not. Everyone has their beliefs, and I don't talk badly about their culture, their religion. So I think they should just do the same as us. But everybody has an opinion, and to me, it's just the way people are.
Yeah, don't ever go to YouTube. Because that's
don't ever go anywhere. Yeah, but that's the way. That's their. If they want to live their lives and that's what the stuff they want to talk about. That's down to them.
No,
short to be angry and nasty.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's understanding. And at the same time, I do believe some people who have certain psychic skill sets can tap into entities or beings or angels, perhaps are not so friendly or not so good.
Agreed.
Agreed. And so I think there's a valid concern to be there, but I think people like such as yourself who surround themselves with that light, have that respect, that healthy respect for the psychic world, and the other afterworld, or whatever you want to decide, the other part of the field that we live in, and that we experience. If you have to distinguish that, so I think you just can't go in like, oh, everything's just so. You have to really.
It's not. You need to look at the greater good, and I try and work on a very light energy, and I don't do Ouija boards, and so I don't look at the darker side of it. Because to be honest, I've been doing this for so long, and I've never had any bad experiences. I've never been attacked. I've never had, on an honest, it only brings me happiness. So I love what I do, and I've never had anything bad from anything spiritual. So I think, if you go out and do drugs and you tap into lower energies, then you will manifest dark. I think there's good and bad in people. I mean, you can have people that are horrific and go out and murder and rape and abuse. And, there's good people, bad people, and same spiritually. Just because, I don't know, say you killed someone in this world and you die and you go up to another energy, another level. Does that make you that you're pure? And so I think, on an honest, for me, it's like sometimes if you've got a bad core when you're alive, you've probably still got that bad soul when you die.
Well, you know what, I agree wholeheartly with you on that. I think it's a really great and healthy perspective to have on that, Jayne. All right, so I'm going to introduce you our first victim, and but do you need, when you read somebody, you ever read just blind, or you have to hear their name, you have to ask what their question is? I mean, just go through your routine, what you used to, but I mean, what do you need to have?
Generally, because we do a lot of international people, so we'll do telephone or Skype, or face to face. So I don't mind doing Skype. It's just that connection. I like a voice energy. Okay. So generally, I don't really do blind reading and such, because you have to get a feel and a sense of that person, whatever way you work. Okay. So I think that's always important.
Well, this is John, and I'm going to let you take it over, Jayne, with John.
Hi, Jayne.
So, John, have you had a reading before?
No, I never have.
Okay, first time. Right. So how deep do you want to go? Because you're quite guarded. It's not about me, but you've been through, I would say, a lot emotionally from small. So I feel you're somebody that guards themselves. You protect your heart, your soul. And I feel that sense of your dad around you. So I'm going to say, on the emotional level, things are not as happy with you as what they seem. So you get a strong feeling sometimes, and sometimes it scares you quite a lot. But it's also that fear of not, what word would I use? It's almost like you have to prove yourself constantly to yourself. So it's not about other people, but you try very hard to keep everyone calm, to keep everybody still. And also you generally go for people, or you're around people that have a lot of baggage, a lot of issues. So you become like the mentor as such. So you'll support, you'll give a lot of structure. You're like the dad and the mum all in one go. But in relationships, with women especially, you'll go sometimes for the crazier one. So you'll go for the one with lots of issues and emotions and tears, and they do like drama. And it's that feeling of you've got to try and stop fixing the world and making everything perfect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that does make some sense, and I'm not afraid for you to go as deep as you want.
What questions do you have for her?
It was nice to hear that my dad was
He's
watching
amazing.
over me.
He's
because
very, sorry, rudely interrupting, grounded. He was a pure man, pure soul. In life, he did everything his way. And he's just such a beautiful energy. I'm going to call him an angel, which is a word he's probably going to air slap me. But he was a real proper angel when he was with us. Do you know what I mean? And
I feel like he should be canonized as an angel, because I really, truly, I think of him as my angel now. And and all the angels that I've heard about through the church growing up and stuff. And all through my life, I always thought, wow, is my dad, he's just like an angel. He really is. And I feel that today.
Does he have any messages
but also,
for him?
also really proud man, but very pure heart, very good. And he just died too quick. It's that feeling of I'm gone. But he laughed. To me, I want to laugh because he was so sarcastic. So he had that very... I think I'm funny sense of humour, where everyone was like, I don't get your jokes. But he'd sort of, I don't know, he'd always have like a cup of tea at the home and a biscuit, and everyone, like 20 people could turn up, he'd be like, oh my God, let's just feed the world. But he was a very pure man and a very pure soul. And you feel him, I know this sounds weird, but you always get like itchy feet in bed, or your feet get steaming hot. And it's that feeling of you just, like that, when you just think, my God, I know he's there. And even when you brush your teeth in the morning, you'll get that feeling of, I've got a chill down my spine.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You're a healer, but in a different way. So although you wouldn't go and do Reiki and spiritual healing, I'm still calling you the mum and the dad. And he's saying thank you because you're looking after your mum. And she's an earth angel. She's funny, bossy, strong-willed, stubborn, but she does make you laugh, doesn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's a very, I would say in some ways dad was mum and mum was dad, because he was very sensitive. But she's brilliant, and she'll say black and white. There's no messing with her, is there?
Yeah, you're right.
And she needs a lot of cuddles, although she does not do affection very well. So it's that, and sometimes you've got to grab and give her a cuddle, and she'll be like, don't touch me. But she misses him.
Well, I think my 19 nieces and nephew will kind of get you with his sarcastic sense of humor, because they always loved that about him, and they would come around and he'd be having that tea, and you guys in London call it a biscuit.
Biscuit, I don't know what you call it, biscuit.
That's
so
great.
It's just that feeling, but he always made sure there was, and he was a tea guy, like not a coffee guy, but he'd always make sure there was a pot on, and everyone was welcome. Like at Christmases, it's like you're pulling the dog off the street and then the tramp down the corner at the end of the road. So there was always an armchair or a box somewhere for someone to sit in to spend time with him around the table. And he was wise, and he didn't take to fools gladly. He didn't do idiots. It was that feeling, you've got to have a brain, you've got to have an intelligent conversation. And it's that, have a whiskey but not a drinker, but it's just that feeling of everything was just so calm. And he'd give you a clip round the ear. You get that saying, don't you? So if you crossed him, wow, you'd get a bout. It quit you. But it was like that, and it's that. And as
Old
soon
school
as you did your whack,
discipline.
it was over and done. But you did get quite a few clips around the ear, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You really captured him, and it's good to know that his spirit is with me, because I do feel it every day. One other thing I'd like to just kind of ask, or just let you know, is my oldest son, Colin, turned 25 today. And
he's lost, isn't he? I know you're going to ask me. Yep, go on.
He's and he's on his way to London tomorrow, and he's creating a new journey in his life. And I'm just so happy that he's alive. On his birthday, we're celebrating his life, and I just wanted to mention that to you.
He's lost, though, in that way, because you've got such a rewarding family, and I know you're with your daughter, and it's such a loving home. I'm going to use the humble word, and he's been spoilt rotten. So it's that independence and, oh my God, I've got to get a plane on my own and I'm going to go and study and the big wide world is out there. But it's also, you do know once he's here, he's going to meet someone here and probably not come back.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you've lost him to the world, not in a bad way, but it's that feeling of, he's quite geeky though, and he does like the whole finance and he's good with things like that. So I think there's a good job here for him. But he's also, he wants to put a backpack on, but a posh backpack. He doesn't do, what would the word be? He doesn't rough it. So it's that feeling, Dad, I need $100 for a hotel room. And so he would never tent or camp. But it's just that feeling, the passion's here.
He's worked really hard. He's worked really hard.
Lady.
He's saved up his own money, so he's ready to embark on his own journey. So I'm excited.
But he's a daddy's boy more than a mummy's boy. So it's going to be hard for him to leave you.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of tears tomorrow morning. You know that, don't you?
Okay. I don't know about that. There will be a mom's side. Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask?
No, I think.
Can I ask a question? Does his father have a message for him at all?
He already knows. He had a conversation with him this morning. So, yes, he knows the answer. So I'll just say no comment on this. Agreed.
My mom is with my dad, so I'm sure they're happy together.
She's not. She's with you.
She's with me and watching over me.
No, she's with you every day because you've got a lot going on emotionally at home. You know that.
Yes, absolutely.
So she's not left you. So I would say she's there, bossy and strong. And although she's gone, she's not gone nowhere. I wouldn't call her an angel. I would say she's more a strong spiritual presence.
Great.
All right. Well, listen, John, you pretty.
Absolutely. I was
for your first reading. You're feeling pretty good.
It was a pleasure, Jane. I think you really captured.
And is Dad Jack or Jake? That's Jack, yes. And
that's John.
As
John.
in name. Sure. No, I know he's John, but he's Dad Jake.
No.
Your dad.
No.
Not Jack, Jake, Jimmy, or James. No.
Donald J.
Okay. Any
Donald
grandpas?
J.
So
J.
John is a middle name. But his granddad then that name.
Donald Joseph.
Sorry.
DJ.
Joseph. Okay.
DJ Hanrahan.
DJ.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, great man. He became a Marine when he was 17 years old and went off to fight for his country and raised a great family.
Wow.
6 kids.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was just fascinating because I know John pretty well, and although I don't know a lot of dynamics of the family, but it sounds like just from your reaction is that she was spot on from most of that stuff there. That's pretty wild. That's amazing to see you, Jane, in action. I got another victim over here for you. We're going to switch out here. Thanks, John, for coming in.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Letting the world know all what's going on in your life. I love it. Go around this way, Kat. So real quick, while we're between people here, when this information was coming into you, was it like, were you hearing a voice, or was this a knowing that was coming up?
Knowing and sensing. So he was his dad's quite a strong character, so in that way quite sarcastic and stuff. So I felt it.
Okay.
And also I feel emotionally as well, he's going through his own stuff where he misses them a lot. So it was more on that emotional level and that vibration.
Right. And
it's really hard to explain where it comes from. It just comes. And so, do you ever get or actually hear a voice or see a visual at all? Yeah, always. Most days, yeah. So I always kind of get an inner voice, but then I kind of can hear clear as day like I'm speaking to you. So it's almost like, when you have a three-way conversation, sometimes four ways. So it's that energy that I work more on the energy level and the spiritual level.
Well, I tell you, just knowing John, and he's like you said, he's very guarded. And his first time ever did this, I think you.
He is guarded, isn't he?
I think.
But he'll do anything for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you blew his mind, honestly, Jane. I think you really did.
Go that far.
So we have another person's mind you could blow here. You want to say a couple of words and ask some questions?
Hello. I've seen you on TV, and my friend Tim mentioned your name, and he said, "Do you want to come in?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So I don't know if I have a specific question. I just am fascinated too. I've never actually had a psychic reading either.
You gotta be kidding me.
No,
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Truthfully, you're so together, very balanced, very cool, very calm, very collect. Very much a young lady that will step into any trouble. So you're really good at kind of bashing everybody's heads together and keeping everyone strong. This is not the right time to go into childhood and past, but you've had a lot of difficulties, a lot of emotions, and there's still a lot of tears with you connected to your past. You know that anyway. And it's about not talking about it, because this is, again, I'm not saying it, I'm not going to do it now, but that pain still is inside of you. So you'll act on the outside, I'm good, but on the inside there's a lot of panic, a lot of fear, and a lot of anxiety, and there's still a lot of tears there emotionally. So it's not saying you have to have healing, but I think it's about how you heal that and how you stop, what word will I use? It's almost like stop blaming yourself for your past, for your childhood. And there is, I'm going to use the forgiveness word, there's a lot of forgiveness, because you grew up very, very young. You know that, didn't you?
Yes.
So I think at this moment you're at the best stage in your life where there's nothing wrong. So it's almost like, oh my God, I'm waking up, I'm breathing, I've got a good relationship, and you've actually found some really good friends. So we all get sometimes betrayed or stabbed in the back in life, but I think for you now there's nobody that's doing this in the back, and I think you're finally surrounded by people that actually care. So it's about having a family, but I feel like you've chosen your family.
Right.
So it's about being with people that support you, and you're not scared to ask for help anymore, which is quite surprising, because you generally don't like to ask anyone for anything. So you've got that independent streak, but it takes you a long time to get to know people, to trust people, to connect with people. And I think now everything is saying it's time to sort of bring a little bit of magic into your life. And I was also going to talk to you about the baby girl. So it's family, and that's kind of in a way your fear, isn't it?
Say it again about the baby girl. What was that?
For future, not past baby.
Oh.
So it's about, right, do I want a baby? Are we going to have another child together?
Wow.
So it's about more children, more family.
That's interesting. Well, and I have 3 children, and I work with.
But there's
hundreds
another
of
one. It's not working. This is a separate child. It's not about the babies you have.
Okay.
It's not about, because I see your daughter at the moment, she's like 9 going on 109. So you've got a very strong connection with them. But this is a baby that was lost to come back.
Wow.
So I see a daughter. So this is about, do we want another child? And he would have 20 children. But he's your best friend. He's like such, I don't know, I just think you've got a really, really pure relationship. And I don't really throw the soulmate word out lightly, but he is the one, isn't he?
He's very
bit
sweet.
Bit too normal for my liking. He is very grounded, very together, but he is your best friend. And it's that talk of, do we want to adopt a baby? But I feel like he needs another one. And your son is very cheeky, so he's a very proper little boy, isn't he?
Yeah, very.
So he's just very run around, strong, powerful, charming. Should be on stage, you know that. He's got that natural acting ability. But he's like a little shining star. Where your daughter's Miss Serious and very much she's philosophical thinker. Everything's analytical, and she's a warrior, isn't she?
Yeah.
But I think for you, there's another one.
Wow.
So it's that do we, don't we?
Are you regretting coming in now?
Yep.
Well,
So,
And also, just one more
ask
thing
questions.
quickly. Do the consultancy job. It's like fear of independence, isn't it, with you?
say that part again about the
So independence
Okay.
work, consultancy. So it's about, you love writing and developing people. So it's more about marketing and not branding as such, but you love sort of the production side of people and products and stuff. So I think you need to find that independence to step out there on your own and say, right, I'm going to do my own thing now.
Well, I would say that back to the original thing about the forgiveness, like one of my beliefs is that you come in with like a theme kind of that you're going to work on to kind of, get to a higher level. And forgiveness has been a huge theme of my life. And I feel like I've made choices to have to be able to step into true forgiveness, which is really quite, I think, difficult.
It's tough.
Yeah. So that part resonated very true for me. And then I am a business owner, so and I've been,
you are?
yeah, I've been kind of asking the universe for like what's next, and I don't know, I haven't gotten a clear answer.
I think
so.
it's like life coaching, but with kids. You like abused people. I don't mean that rudely. So if someone's been battered and abused sexually, emotionally, physically, you're like that counsellor. So you'll go in and you'll heal that person and you'll help them to become the person they want to be. But I see it as a consultant within a business, not with children. I mean, there's two sides to you, but there's also, I want to write the book, the children's books, the experience, because your past started off very tough. But I think sometimes we have a tough beginning in this world to then help other people to, I don't know, sometimes I think if you've been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, then you'll be on that level with that person. And I think that's why you resonate so strongly with young teenagers. But there's something as well to do with bulimia, anorexia, eating disorders, self-harm, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. So it's helping whether you're 7 or 17. I mean, that's what you're there to do. It's not about money or finance. It's about saying, right, I want to change one life in every 50. And I think that's where you're at. But I see you as a consultant within a school or working in that way with, I want to say education, but I know you're not a teacher, but it's that feeling I want to do something that's more on that consultancy level where I work with high flyers that I can bring money in to do charity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I've had a dream for a long time of almost like a parent-child curriculum in a way of
Yeah.
there's like a sometimes I feel like there's a missing dialogue between parents and children, not just
Communication,
around,
not a mediator, but it's that parents sometimes miss signs. Like now, I think with the world the way it is, and everyone's Instagram and selfies, and so young children are really conscious about their look and image, and it's how you get the parent to understand that, or even the school is sort of, I think kids now don't have the innocence they have, and I think you want to bring back that innocence.
Yeah, I would.
And why do I get photography? Is that through camera, or is that through videos, or just photography?
The photography's coming through? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't know why. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what photography's got to do with it. It's whether it's through videoing or blogging or YouTube's, and there's something there to do with an app. So it might be if a kid's in trouble, it's like, right, or parents, they can do like, where you're at and you go, right, I've got a problem, what do I do? And I think there's something there where it's technical and geeky as well. So I don't quite know what I'm trying to say, but I think it is about moving forward. And also your grandma misses you. She was your mum and she misses you. So she is your mum. So spiritually you need to connect with her and let her in, don't you?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
but you're ignoring her, and I don't mean that rudely. It's like, nope, don't know if I believe in all this, and pick up that vase and move it. And the signs are all in front of you, but your signs are via your dreams more than anything else.
Yeah, and that's funny with my grandmother, real quick. I was there pretty much when she passed away, but I just read this book, Journey of Souls, where basically, there's like a guide team that comes in and kind of assists you with the transition. And so she was under morphine, but she woke up briefly and was like, I think, kind of fussing at the people, the guides that were trying to come and get her. So anyway, I think for me, it was one of those moments where, wow, it really is true. Like the dynamic of the Journey of Souls book is true. And then to see that demonstrated with her in her passing was quite profound. I was like, oh, there it is. I think maybe I was looking for confirmation in that kind of changeover or transition part,
But you did rub her hand and you told her it was okay to go. So I think what she was also waiting for was your blessing. And you know that.
Yeah.
But she was your mum, weren't she? She was that mother that you...
Never had. Yeah, she was very sweet.
She protected you. I don't mean to be... I know I'm going over that mark, but she was the mum that protected you. She stepped in when you were free. She brought you into her world, her life, and she took you away from a very volatile situation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't be talking like this, but still.
No. That's all very true. It's all exactly true. Yeah, that's amazing.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. We're going to take another quick break here. When we get back with Jayne Wallace, let's kind of close it out and process a little bit what you went through. And I know Kat will be processing what she just went through here in a minute, but we'll be right back, okay, with Jayne Wallace. All right, we are back with Jayne Wallace. She is the owner of the Psychic Sisters, where she has group of psychics and mediums who will come in, and you could call. And is there a certain? I mean, they go to psychicsisters.com, but is there a certain number that people would call? I assume it would be.
It's the UK, so it's probably better to go via the website. So
gotcha.
It's like a UK. So I would go via the website, to be fair.
Right.
So I think that will probably be easier.
Well, I tell you, you are just phenomenal and just wonderful. Amazing how it's like rapid fire. This stuff comes right through. And when this information is coming to you, do you, like you said, you kind of alluded a few times, there's a certain point in boundary. How do you know? Like, is there somebody telling you? How do you know where the boundary is, what to go over and where not to go over? I mean, is it
you just know? I don't know. You just know. You just know. Yeah.
So is it psychology, or is it the
inner voice,
information?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, in her case, it was her nana, so it was to do with nana. And I keep getting Rose, but I don't know if that's name or Rosie. Just Rosie is a rose. She just wants a single rose. I think that's the word.
Okay, but it's just amazing how you're able to process that so quickly, and where I think a lot of psychics they go through. a different process. Like, what do you enjoy? How does your style different than perhaps other psychic styles? And I know you need a variety to, because everyone's going to be attracted to certain type, But what do you feel about your style compared to perhaps some other ones?
I think it's just, we all find our way and we all find our pathway, don't we? So I think everybody has their own style, their own direction. So I think it's just like having the confidence, I think, and it's about just believing in what you get and what you feel. So I think it's probably years of like learning and knowledge and just experience. But I think, to be honest, everyone's different. I think if it was all the same, it would be very boring. So I think, to be honest,
truth?
So it is. I think maybe sometimes I'm a bit too blunt and sometimes maybe a bit too brutal. But I like the intuitive counselling side of it. I definitely like that.
Right.
So that's something that I do really enjoy. And I think as well, it's about sort of, trying to sort of guide people in the way you can. So like people like say, oh, you fortune tellers and stuff. I think we all have a pathway in life and we just sometimes have to find that pathway.
Yeah, listen, I think it's brilliant. Is there anything that you're wanting to develop now? Because I mean, there's certain psychics, like if every one of your psychics to be one of on your team, what's your criteria? Do they have to know how to be a mediumship too, or they don't have to? I mean, what's your criteria?
Everyone's different. So I generally go on energy of people. So this is just a bizarre story, so I'll tell you quickly. I went, it was like a friend of mine, so she does like Botox and all of that. So I went up to see her, and she was working at a very posh dentist in Knightsbridge, and I went there, and I'm not big in any way, but they had this laser, like a fat machine, which they blast fat off your body, and honestly I swear I don't have any fat. So the dentist went, oh, we want you to come and experience the fat machine. So I was like, okay. So I've got a really busy life, so for 6 weeks I went to this place, which was like a 2-hour drive, to have fat removal from my body, right? And I don't get it. And I think about the second session, there was a lady there called Carol, and she's lovely. And she said, oh, can you do me a reading? So I said, oh, all right, I'm just waiting for my fat thing. I said, so, yeah. And she was like, why are you here? And I went, I don't know. So I'd done her a reading, and one of the so-called lovely dentists, he was a complete bully, and she'd been with him 14 years, and he mentally battered her every day. And I was like, right, I said, I know why I'm here now. I said, I'm here because I'm giving you a job. Didn't have anywhere for her. I went, you're starting work for me Monday morning. And I said, go now. I said, give your resume in. I like, tell him to get lost, basically. I said, tell him to go away. I said, walk out the door. I said, be head proud. I said, don't look back. She went, I can't. And then she's now been working with me for 4 years, and I helped her develop her spiritual side. She's like 66 years old. It's just really funny, and there's always a reason why you position yourself in life. So then Carol's now an honorary psychic sister, so she's developed, like me, she lost her mum a few weeks ago, so she's really evolved, and she's got like a lovely clientele, and she's like she always says it's like she stands up to her husband now. She's so confident. And it was just weird. So I think I always do things just to position myself to meet people. And it was just so bizarre. I was thinking, right, I'm going all the way there, doing this. And then it's just for her, really. So because I hadn't gone for the fat thing, I never would have actually met her, and she wouldn't be a part of our group now. So, yeah, it's just weird. I always have weird experiences.
Well, that's actually a fantastic story, because it just proves when you're in touch with that extrasensory skill set, you almost forced to have to be in the present moment, and and to be in the flow, to recognize there are no coincidences and everything's synchronistic, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it may be much further or deeper beyond that mask of the superficial experience you're having at that moment.
I call it positioning. I don't know why it's my word for it. I think in life you're positioned for a reason. So like, say for example, when I started Selfridges, I was just having a coffee in a coffee shop in the department store. And that was all it was. And I was doing my friend a reading, and then the director came over and just started talking to me. And it was like, oh, when can you start? So he only goes there on a Tuesday, and he's only on the shop floor for no more than 20 minutes. And he's like now the CEO. And it was just like really weird. We were sitting having a coffee, got my cards out, was doing a reading, and he came over and interfered. I was like, don't interfere. And he was like, no, what you doing? And then he was like one of those, oh, I don't believe in it. It's all like, he swears a lot, but I don't believe in it. Oh, da-da-da.
Right.
And then I said something to him. He was like, oh, my God, when can you start? And then like they hounded me. And then 3 months later, we was in the store. So that was meant to be.
Well, it sounds like it, and I find it fascinating too, because you have so many sisters working for you, psychic sisters working for you, that do you guys ever do like a not probability test, but an accuracy test. Like, you got to hit at least 80%, 90%. Because very seldom, I assume, no one's really going to be 100% accurate in the readings because it's all you're reading probabilities. So, I mean, is there a certain percentage if they drop down below 40, you're out, or way?
No, to be honest, I've been there 12 years. Most of them, you can't get rid of them. It's like I fire one every day. They don't leave. They come back. They're like boomerang. So truthfully, no. They're all we have the odd one where they'll come, and it's like the other day one turned up and she left the same day. But to be fair, I don't think any of them, if we were there for another 20 years, truthfully, unless they go upstairs, I don't think any of them are leaving, on and honest. We're doing a psychic cruise in Miami, so we're doing that.
Wow.
So we're doing that around Turks and stuff. So we're doing a Psychic Sisters cruise with Holland and America. So that's in November. So we're over in the US for 2 weeks, all of us. Well, there's 10 of us coming. And then we're doing an expo in Los Angeles. So we all travel together. It's my birthday in 3 weeks. So there's 25 of us going off to Paris for the day for lunch. So we all get on really, really well. So it's sort of we just laugh and stuff. So we've got it's really good working there. So we all just laugh all day.
Happy
birthday.
It's
a really nice place.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, that's fantastic because you're having fun and you're doing your work and getting paid for having fun. Not many people have that opportunity, but you created it though.
Yeah, true.
And you got to give yourself the pats in the back for be the entrepreneur mindset and taking the risk and creating it and knowing where to position yourself and be conscious of where you're positioned yourself. So hats off to you on that one, Jayne. Really wonderful work you're doing. Guys, if you want to reach Jayne Wallace, you can reach her at psychicsisters.com or .co.uk if you're around that area, because we have a lot of folks listen to us around the world. And then, of course, I'm sure the prices and everything, all that's all listed on the website. You can find out what's going on. And I just think it's wonderful. If you have a second to hang on before we're going to close out the show, I want to ask you a question, not about me, but about your other psychics here. You should know exactly what my question already is. Anyway, so listen, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
That's a really boring joke.
I know, right? It is a boring joke. I know.
That's what I'm going to say.
I'm sorry, I had to squeeze it in there. Guys, you've been listening to Jayne Wallace, the psychic medium to the stars. All right, so wonderful show. Thank you so much, Beyond Jayne. Really enjoyed it. Okay, guys.
Thank you.